On Monday, the families of the victims of the Pike River Mine tragedy will finally get some of the answers they've been waiting for. The Royal Commission will report back on its inquiry into the mine disaster. The report is before the government right now, but the families are still waiting to see it. Bernie Monk lost his son Michael in the explosion. He joins us now from Greymouth. Good morning, Mr. Monk.
Yeah, good morning, Rachel.
We know this report is before the Governor-General. The government has it as well. When will you get to see it?
We've been notified yesterday that we'll be getting the first copy of this given to us at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon on Sunday. OK, is that a reasonable amount of time before it's made public?
Oh, sorry, on Monday. It's on Monday. On Monday.
OK.
Monday, sorry.
And then it will be made public shortly after that, is that right?
That's correct.
Are you comfortable with that?
Well, it means over the weekend we've got to get in touch with not only the rest of the families throughout New Zealand, but a lot of the families are now overseas, and we'll be working all weekend to try and get in contact with them, because we don't want them to find out through the media some of the results of these findings, and we will try and hook them up into a teleconference or whatever before this happens. So, you know, we'll be working very hard with our lawyers over the weekend to make this happen.
Do you have an open line of communication with the government? Are they receptive to your request?
No, I haven't heard from the government at all on this. Or I haven't personally, no.
OK. What do you want this report to tell you, Mr. Monk?
Well, I just want the truth, and that's basically it. And I've got every confidence, and I've always stated this right from day one. I've got the utmost confidence in the three people that were running this commission, headed by Mr. Pankhurst, and I've got every confidence that they're going to come out with what the country needs to hear.
How accurate can the findings be, though, do you think, given that no one has been able to get back into the mine?
Well, you know, I think they can be fairly accurate, but on the cases, obviously there could be some cases down the track where there's going to be prosecutions. That's going to be a different story altogether. The fiasco that we had with Valley Longhaul early last week proved that point. So we're working hard as the families, and no help from anyone else, of getting down there. Solid Energy have opened the doors for us to get our experts on board and make an entry down the drift. Once we get down the drift, we'll find the accurate points of what's happened down there, and I'm confident of that as well.
You say you haven't had any help from anyone. Has your relationship with the government broken down?
Well, they left us probably May of 2011, and we've basically heard very little from them ever since. They've always put us in the hands of a bankrupt company such as Pike River, and also a defunct company in Solid Energy, and they've sidestepped us and used them as their pawn to try and communicate with us. Fortunately, Solid Energy are communicating with us now and are letting us do what that needs to be done, which should have been done at least 15 to 18 months ago.
Which ministers have you tried to speak with? Because we know there's been a change of minister since 2010.
Well, you know, we've tried all avenues. You know, we've been back to the government several times on this, and of course they always say that their experts said it's too unsafe. Well, that's not quite the truth, and we know that their experts at the time blew that mine up 3 times after the first explosion, and we wanted to talk to them, but no one's come forth. So as from tomorrow, Sunday, we've got our experts coming in from the UK, and we're going to make this happen.
Those bodies of the 29 men are still in that mine. Are you saying that independently you're going to try and get them out?
Well, the first step is to recover the drift. You know, and all experienced miners here on the West Coast say to us, that you can never judge a mine till you get down there and have a look for yourself, and that's our first priority, is to get down the drift. And in doing so, there are areas in that drift that are going to answer a lot of questions for the Royal Commission, and that's something we've been asking for. Well, when the Commission was on, we kept asking and asking and asking, and it just fell on deaf ears, and it's been so frustrating.
Yes, absolutely. The government did give you an assurance, didn't they? I remember John Keith saying that they would get the men out of the mine and do everything they could. What are these experts that you're talking about? Who are they and what will they do?
Well, we'll go through. I've arranged meetings with Solid Energy, Mines Rescue, and we'll hope to get them in a meeting, run through the procedures of where we're at, and get a full coverage of what the state of the mine is from any evidence that's been left from the Pike River days, and judge it from there. But our top priority is to get down the drift. Let's forget about trying to get into the mine central, just get down the drift, and that's our main thing.
All right, Bernie Monk, we have to leave it there, but thank you for your time this morning, much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joining us now from Christchurch is Nigel Hampton QC, the lawyer representing the EPMU, the miners' union. Good morning, Mr. Hampton.
Good morning.
What does this report, when you see it, what does it need to address, do you think?
Well, it needs to address primarily a return to focus on safety in terms of high hazard industries such as coal mining. Historically in New Zealand, underground coal mining has been the subject of great tragedy. If you go back into the 1890s and then all the way through this last century, tragedy has befallen the West Coast in terms of the Brunner explosion, the Strongman explosion, and now this one. From Brunner and then from Strongman came changes to health and safety, not just in coal mining, but right throughout New Zealand. And so I'm hoping that out of this tragedy, we will have learned some more, and that health and safety will not only be improved in coal mining, but in terms of other high hazard industries, and that will have its effect of percolating down to all other health and safety regimes in all walks of life in New Zealand. So that's what I'm looking for.
You think the report will go beyond... Sorry.
I think it will have some recommendations going beyond just health and safety in mining, and will have effects beyond health and safety in mining. It should mark a return to sensible regulation of high hazard industries. It will mark, I think, a turning away from a test that was allowed for economic factors to enter into it, all practicable steps, and practicable was seen by miners such as Pike as allowing in costs, and if they couldn't afford it, they said it wasn't practicable to do. It should mark a turn away from that sort of testing regime.
So do you believe the failures that occurred at Pike River were unique to Pike River?
I don't think so. I think there are systemic problems about health and safety throughout the country, not just in the high hazard industries, quite frankly. And I think that this may mark a watershed in terms of our health and safety legislation generally. Specifically to coal mining, what the union hopes to see is a properly resourced, properly funded mines inspectorate, a government mines inspectorate, autonomous and standing alone with real authority. That had been allowed to run down terribly over the last 20 years, and that led to the ability of a miner such as Pike being able to set up a mine that was inherently dangerous in terms of its lack of egresses, in terms of its lack of proper methane drainage, in terms of its gas management, in terms of its ventilation issues. That would not happen, should not have happened, if we'd had a proper mines inspectorate. We hope also for a return to, the union hopes for a return to what have been called in common terms check inspectors, workers' representatives underground and within the industry that have a real say in health and safety underground. That was something that was part of our legislation following from the Brunner explosion, which killed, I forget now, something like 80 men. And we forget the lessons of history. And in the early 1990s, about 20 years ago, we went into a form of legislation as to health and safety which was not adequate, and we have now, the West Coasters have now seen how inadequate that really was.
All right, Nigel Hampton QC live for us this morning in Christchurch. Thank you. Now we're going to go back to Greymouth, back to Bernie Monk. Mr Monk, you heard there from Nigel Hampton QC. He said this report was going to be wide-ranging across the board, beyond mining and for other industry as well. Can you explain to me a little bit more about this UK delegation that's arriving here this weekend? What are they likely to be doing?
Oh, well, along those lines as well, we've already worked with the new task force that's been put in place by the government. We want to leave a legacy of our men underground and safety in mining and other such high hazard industries. We're working with that already, so these people are going to help us put together things like what Nigel was just talking about. So we're already on that case already, the families are.
So who are these people, Mr Monk?
Well, it's Mr Creedy, very experienced, over 40-odd years of mining in the UK, Bob Stevenson and Dave Furkett from Wanganui, and they're all coming here tomorrow to help us go along these lines. So it's very important for us to have them on board.
This is quite a major move for you, Mr Monk.
Well, listen, we want to leave a legacy here. As Nigel said, the West Coasters realise now just how bad things have been run, and we want to make sure that this never happens again. So, you know, we're going to work really hard with the authorities to help this industry on the West Coast get back on its feet and make sure that these disasters, after the 3 that we've had, we don't want any more. So, and I've still got men, friends and stuff that are still working down these mines, and I want to protect them as well. And the whole of our families feel the same way. So we've got a big job ahead of us, but we're prepared to do it.
All right, Bernie Monk, live for us from Greymouth. Thank you.
Thank you.